Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shrika and I'm a digital content creator based in Tokyo, and today I have my everyday makeup look for you guys. And some of these products in here, although you can see a Too Faced palette, some of these products in here are affordable. Some of them are a little bit on the high end. They're not like super high end, but yeah, so if you're interested, keep on watching. So first things first, I have my entire face prepped with moisturizer and I'm just going to go in with my face base. As you can see, I have a little bit of a dark circle situation and a pimple here, so we're going to start off with our base first, and I'm taking the Revlon Photo Ready primer. This is a pore reducing primer, and for me personally, I'm okay with the way my pores are. They're part of who I am, so I've become more comfortable with how they are. But a pore reducing primer is good for foundation, and it just helps it sink in better. Plus, with the season, like the winter dry season it is, a pore reducing primer has a little bit more of a give to it. It's a little more soft in my personal opinion, so I use this as my primer every day basically. I'm just going to take it on the back of my hand, and the only issue with this is that, like, even though the squirt place is like pretty small, a lot of the product does come out, so I just tend to blend it into my skin. And as I mentioned, there's a bit of a dark circle situation going on, so I'm going to be taking the NYX Dark Circle Concealer in the shade 4, which is a pretty close match for my skin tone basically. And I don't like to use brushes for my under eye because I feel like it looks a little bit more cakey. So what I'm going to do is take my ring finger and just press it into the product, warm up the product a little bit since it does tend to get a little hard, and once I have it on my ring finger, I basically tap it into my under eye. Next up, I am taking the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 35 Deep. And if you are anywhere outside of Japan, 35 Deep might be a different shade, but in Japan, 35 Deep is the one that works best for my skin tone. So I'm just going to take this on my fingertip again. This time I'm using my index finger, and just swipe up a little bit of the product and put it on my pimple. I don't use concealer anywhere else on my face except if I have a big pimple situation, then I like to cover that up. And basically tap it in. And yeah, I could have used a green color corrector, but I currently don't have a green color corrector, so I am just going to use concealer and try to manage the situation. Next, I'm going to be taking two foundations. This is Cinnamon Mahogany from NYX. It is the Bare With Me Tinted Skin Veil, and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte in the shade Caramel Beige, 108 Caramel Beige. And this used to be my summer foundation, but it is a little bit darker on my face right now, so I combined it with this one. And the advantage of this is this has a little bit of higher coverage compared to the NYX one. So the NYX one is like a tinted veil, so it doesn't have a lot of coverage, and this is pretty high on the coverage for my personal taste. So what happens is I can combine these two and get like a semi-medium coverage. And this is a demi matte finish, so it's not exactly matte and it's not exactly glowing, like dewy as well. So it gives you a more airbrushed look personally, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And the Pro Matte it claims that it's 24 hours. I've never worn it for 24 hours. This is 8 hours, so combined together they kind of come in a balance. And another thing I like about using these two together is this would transfer onto my clothes during the summer a bit because it was hot and everything, but combined with these two together, there's less of like clothes transfer, which is always a good thing. Otherwise, I have a lot of t-shirts which just have foundation on them. And again, I'm going to be just taking this on the back of my hand, about this much. About this much. And then I'm going to be adding a little bit of the Pro Matte foundation. Yeah, this foundation's a bit runny compared to Cinnamon Mahogany. And I'm just going to blend this in so that it turns into the perfect shade, like so. So as you can see that the Pro Matte is a little bit on the lighter tone, and the Cinnamon Mahogany has an orangey undertone to it. So when I mix it together, it turns into a more neutral finish. And I'm just going to blend this into my skin. And as always, I'm using the BareMinerals Smoothing Face Foundation brush. Next up is eyes, and I'm taking the NYX eyeshadow base in the shade 03. And since we did put a little bit of foundation and the eye look has a little bit of shimmer to it, it's best to use an eyeshadow base. And again, I'm just going to take my ring finger, put it in the product, and dab it onto my eyelid. Next, I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Tickled Peach mini eyeshadow palette, and in this, first of all, it looks amazing. I love this, especially like if you're on the quick or on the go or traveling. It's a small eyeshadow, like it's a mini one, but you can do a whole lot of looks just out of these 8 colors. And I'm going to be taking this shade right here. It is called Love Pit. Yeah, it's called Love Pit, and I'm going to be taking this and just putting this all over my eyelid, over the eyeshadow base as a powdered base, I guess. Next, I'm going to be taking the Covergirl Trunaked Sunsets palette, and this palette is a recent addition and I am in love with this. It is so buttery, and just the texture and like the impact of all these colors, they're very pigmented. And yeah, so, and it has a lot of colors that I personally like, which like golden shimmery tones right here, and then like a champagne pink color, and like a few metallic shades, and a matte shade. So again, this is a great palette to carry around when traveling. I keep talking about traveling, and I really do want to travel again soon. Hopefully 2021 everything goes away, all of this is like sorted out, and like we can start traveling again. But yeah, just fingers crossed. So basically what I'm going to be doing is taking this golden champagne color and using my finger to pop it onto the entire eyelid. And I personally, until this, I'm doing like a really over the top, using pigmented eyeshadow, kind of like pigments and stuff like that. I don't like to use brushes that much. I'll go in with my finger and then I will like smudge it out with a brush, because it's just easier that way personally. So I'm just taking the gold eyeshadow, and if I feel like the eyeshadow is a little uneven and it needs a little bit of a overall airbrush finish, I will go in with the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush and just blend it in all over the lid. Especially like the crease line here, sometimes I feel like since I'm using my finger, it could be a little bumpy looking, so I'll just blend this in. Next, I'm taking the Golden Rose eye pencil and just using this as a cajole. And the thing I love the most about this is it's so creamy that when I put it on the under the lower lash line and I kind of have my eye semi-closed, I can put it on my, the top lash line as well, and it kind of makes my lashes look fuller, because again, I don't have a lot of eyelashes. I feel like eyebrows and eyelashes I've like really missed out on, which seems really weird. And then for eyes, the last thing we're going to do is use the Covergirl Lashblast Volume Mascara. Like in all my videos, I cannot get enough of this mascara. Do you ever feel like you can't talk, like you have so much to say but your mouth is just like ah? Anyways, next I'm taking the MAC Prep and Prime and just prime my lips. Also, a good dupe for this primer is the ColourPop Cosmetics Lip Primer. I'm a huge fan of that as well. So while I have the primer slightly softening up my lips, I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Strobing Cream and putting that on my cheeks. I feel like in the recent... Somebody count how many times I've said I feel like in this video, because I feel like I have. I've done it a lot. But anyways, the trends from like last couple of years, the only trend I've like really stuck by, besides matte lipsticks or like matte liquid lipsticks or the whole matte lip in general, is the highlighter thing. Because I still do love a good highlight. Like I love strong highlights even on a regular basis. Like if I am going out the door and I'm not wearing that much makeup, I will have like a cream highlighter, mascara, and kajal, and I think I could be okay with that. Next up, I'm taking the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade On Ice, and I am in love with these lip liners. And even though I'm like really barely touching the lip liner to my lip, there's so much color and pigment on these that if you don't want to wear like a lipstick, you could wear the lip liners, maybe put a little bit of lip balm on it, and you have a whole lipstick look. So next I am taking the Too Faced Melted Matte in the shade Naughty by Nature and using that as a lipstick. It is a lipstick. And this is a true 90s brown, which I'm obsessed with right now. And also, I love lipsticks that have not weird, but have like kind of cheeky names. I really sound British these days. Too much TikTok. But yeah, any lip color that has like a fun name to it, I love using those. And I'm weird, guys, but thank you for watching. Anyways, this is the full makeup look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!